If there's one thing I think we can all agree on, it's that Ash Ketchum would never ever be a Natdexer. Like, think about it. At the end of today's episode, he's going to have caught his third Johto Pokemon in 24 episodes. This kid doesn't even know the meaning of gotta catch 'em all. Today's episode begins with Ash and friends lost in the woods on their way to Azalea Town, with Ash suggesting they just cut their way through the trees until they find a road, when Misty replies,
"We'd be better off leaving a trail of breadcrumbs."
To be fair, Misty, that's not strictly true, is it? A trail of breadcrumbs would only show you where you've been, it wouldn't lead you anywhere new. So Ash's plan is technically still better, even if it is still pretty dumb. This guy turns up and asks the gang if they've seen any Cyndaquil around. And oh look, they gave him Tracy's voice. You know why they've done that, don't you? It's always easier to hate, obviously. After hearing about there being wild Cyndaquil in the area, Ash simply wanders off on his own. He doesn't even tell Brock or Misty what direction he's heading in. He straight up just abandons his friends, who, let's not forget, are lost in the woods. Ash Ketchum is a terrible friend. Pass it on. Also, let's just appreciate Ash's expert method of finding a wild Cyndaquil, shouting its name at the top of his lungs. Yeah, mate, because that'll absolutely draw every Cyndaquil in the area right to you. There's no way it'll scare them off or anything. We then get flashbacks of the jobs that Team Rocket have done to earn money for their next big invention. And Jessie's shown working in a fast food place and scoffing away at the food when her colleagues' backs are turned. And as someone who's worked in fast food in the past, I can relate. We've all done it. I tell you what, anybody that works in Mackey's right now, when you're next at work, grab a slice of cheese, tear it in half and wrap it around a chicken nugget. Oh, delish. After realizing Ash and Pikachu aren't with Brock and Misty, Team Rocket just leave. Wow, that is a scathing response, mate. Imagine basically being told your Onix or your Staryu or even your Togepi aren't good enough to be stolen. That's a self-esteem crusher right there. Team Rocket's new Meowthanator imitator can jump higher than the trees. And honestly, this is just quite impressive for them, isn't it? Pikachu's Thunderbolt apparently just helps power up the Meowthanator. Wow, so they actually did modify the electricity-absorbing tech they had in the Marip episode. Team Rocket are actually learning from their past mistakes. Wait, who are these people and what have they done with Team Rocket? The Meowthanator fires bubblegum bombs from its paws. Now, I get the point of firing something sticky to catch Ash and Pikachu, but why bubblegum specifically and not just like glue? Is it because of the color? Ash and Pikachu run through the legs of the Meowthanator and Meowth makes it bend so far over to look at them that it ends up doing an impromptu forward roll. Mate, you absolutely didn't have to do that. You could have easily just, you know, turned the mech around. Would that have really been so hard? What's never hard, of course, is hitting the like button to support this channel, sharing the video on social media so more people can find out about the channel, and leaving a lovely comment down below to help us in the algorithm. And if you can't think of a lovely comment, leave something generic like
Cyndaquil, more like get in the bin, Quil.
Or just comment the name of the secret Pokemon I've hidden somewhere in the video. And if you're new here, hit the subscribe button and turn on all notifications so you never miss an episode of Pokemon WTF Moments or Siri Battles or anything on my channel. Thank you as always for getting us to 1.76 million subscribers. I know it doesn't look like that right now, but if you subscribe today, maybe YouTube will add that extra 0. And also hit the join button wherever it is and become a member, because you get access to the cool emojis, and the more people we get as a member, the more emojis we get. And I really appreciate the support from everybody that actually clicks it and does the thing, because helps me out a lot. Thank you. Direct quote from Ash.
Ah, it's coming!
Hey, phrasing!
After Ash and Pikachu hide behind some trees, Team Rocket use a new targeting system to find out exactly where they are and fire bubblegum bombs at the trees. What I don't get is, why don't Ash and Pikachu just stay behind the trees? The bubblegum bombs can only hit the front of the trees. It's not like they can go through them, so I don't know why they even bothered to leave cover like this. People who complain about Cyndaquil's 3D model in the games not having its flames out all the time have clearly forgotten that this is also the case in the anime. So basically, you're just complaining about something that you've remembered wrong. Mate, if you go back and watch any part of this episode, go back and watch this scene. Specifically, watch the way Ash tries to climb up this cliff. The animation of his limbs moving is way out of sync with how slowly he moves up the cliff. Poor lad looks like Michael Jackson trying to climb that thing. The other trainer from before turns up and has his Sandslash use Sand Attack to force Ash back down the cliff. He then tells it to go after Cyndaquil, but it just runs into into the cave with the guy, which is weird because to get up there in the first place, it literally just ran full pelt up the cliff. So why doesn't it just do that again? Team Rocket's twerp-seeking putty ball chases after Ash, and as Ash passes the other trainer, the putty ball just crushes the other trainer and carries on chasing Ash. If nothing else, that's gotta be a confidence boost for the guy. You know, because he's still an asshole, but apparently he's not a twerp. Confirmed. After a lengthy stare down with Team Rocket's Meowthanator imitator, Ash is hit by a bubblegum bomb and stuck to the wall. Now, I'm no expert on stuff like this. Like, I've never been stood face to face with a giant robot cat that fires bubblegum bombs. But I feel like Ash probably should have moved. Mate, Ash tells Cyndaquil to run away and literally just lobs the fucker. And somehow it just sticks to the wall like a gecko or something. Mate, since when was Cyndaquil's feet that sticky? You know what? If you're a deviant artist, don't answer that. Direct quote from Meowth after Jessie suggests catching Cyndaquil first. So this Cyndaquil's flamethrower is apparently powerful enough to completely disintegrate the Meowthanator imitator's robot hand. Mate, how OP is this Cyndaquil? I figured that since it was wild, it was probably some weak level 5 mon or something. But with a flamethrower like that, it's gotta be pushing level 99. Maybe that's why it never evolved into Typhlosion. Oh yeah, spoiler alert. Suddenly, the Meowthanator imitator starts sparking and rumbling, and James says it's about to blow. Wait, but why though? One of its hands was melted off, sure, but why is that now causing the entire robot to explode? Was this thing petrol powered all along? Pikachu uses Thunderbolt to break himself and Ash out of the bubblegum trap. You probably should have done that ages ago, mate. Ash's hat is suddenly backwards for no reason, and is back to facing forwards again in the very next shot. Great attention to detail there, animators. Glad to see you guys are definitely earning those paychecks. Speaking of paychecks, let me take a moment to pay the bills by talking about G Fuel. G Fuel is an energy formula with barely any calories, zero sugar, and a whole heap of wonderful flavors like the lovely Sonic-inspired peach rings that I'm drinking right now. This is such a lovely, simple flavor. It's peachy, it's refreshing, it's lovely, it's absolutely banging. Oh, that is bloody wonderful, and the best part is you can use code ACE to save 10% on your order whilst also helping support this channel and keep my lights on and keep my dogs fed, so thank you very much to everybody that uses code ACE to save on G Fuel. Remember though, G Fuel is for over 18s only because it contains caffeine, and children don't need to be anywhere near caffeine. They're annoying enough as it is, and because it contains caffeine, drink it responsibly. Don't be a dickhead. After Team Rocket are sent blasting off, we get this direct quote from Ash.
Where's Cyndaquil?
Oh, come on, Ash, mate. Is it really that hard to work out? Let's recap. You threw an empty Pokeball at Cyndaquil. You now can't see Cyndaquil. So take a wild guess as to where you think Cyndaquil might be. I tell you what, sometimes Ash Ketchum really is a numpty. Ash asks Cyndaquil if it used its flamethrower attack back there to help him and Pikachu get away from Team Rocket. Arc at Mr. Self-Important over here. Mate, I'll tell you why Cyndaquil used flamethrower. It was about to be punched in the face by a giant robot. Do you know what folks normally do when they're about to be punched in the face by a giant robot? They do anything they can to avoid being punched in the face by a giant robot. So that's why it used flamethrower. Had nothing to do with you or Pikachu, mate. The trainer with the Sandslash turns back up and demands that Ash and friends let him catch Cyndaquil. Ash tells him he already caught Cyndaquil and that he should just walk away. But for some reason, Cyndaquil thinks Ash was talking to him and starts to walk off. So much like Ash, Ash's Cyndaquil is a numpty. Pass it on. The trainer then challenges Ash to a battle where the winner gets to keep Cyndaquil. Brock and Misty rightly ask what the point of this is, since Ash already caught Cyndaquil himself. And we then get this direct quote from the trainer.
What do you expect from a chicken?
Mate, this is the Pokemon world. What's a chicken? After the guy says Ash isn't a very good trainer, Ash accepts the battle. Mate, what a fragile little ego Ash Ketchum has. He caught himself a Cyndaquil and now has no reason at all to battle this guy to claim ownership of it. But just because this guy used a little bit of reverse psychology and hurt his little feelings, he's suddenly willing to put it on the line? Imagine if he lost and had to actually hand over a Pokemon that he caught fair and square. And all because he couldn't handle some stranger calling him a bad trainer. Mate, that is proper cringe. This guy declares the battle a single Pokemon one-on-one battle. Of course it is. Because as always, this guy clearly only owns one Pokemon. In a world that revolves around people who strive to enter tournaments to be crowned the world's best trainer, it's so weird weird that so few trainers have more than just the one Pokemon. The trainer starts the battle by telling his Sandslash to use Fury Swipes. Mate, you're using a ground-type Pokemon against a fire-type. Why not use a ground-type move? It'll be super effective and have same-type attack bonus. Don't tell me, let me guess. Your stupid Sandslash doesn't know any stupid ground-type moves. I swear, Pokemon trainers in the actual Pokemon world know nothing about Pokemon, do they? Ash suddenly realizes that Cyndaquil is fast asleep and tries to wake it, seemingly by dry humping it. You know what? Let's just move on. Direct quote from the other trainer.
Wrap it up with your best attack, Sandslash. Keep using Fury Swipes.
Mate, you think Fury Swipes is its best attack? You just showed us it knows Slash. Fury Swipes is 18 base power per hit, so if you're lucky enough to land all 5 hits, that's 90 base power. Slash, on the other hand, has a guaranteed base power of 70 with a high crit ratio, so more of a chance to double that to 140, since, you know, crits do double damage in Generation 2. So Slash is absolutely better than Fury Swipes, so surely that's its best attack.
Well, actually, Liam, I think you'll find every hit from Fury Swipes has a chance to be a critical hit, so you could potentially get 180 base power from a 5 crit Fury Swipes.
Mate, the day you land 5 crits in a row from Fury Swipes, come to my grave and let me know, because I guarantee I'll have been long dead by the day that happens. Hang on. The trainer now tells his Sandslash to use Swift, which on top of Sand Attack, Poison Sting, Fury Swipes, and Slash, all moves which we've already seen Sandslash use in this episode, gives this Sandslash a total of 5 moves. This trainer is a hacker. Confirmed. So the second time this trainer goes for Swift Attack, it misses. That's right, Swift, an attack that bypasses accuracy checks to never miss, misses. Simply because Cyndaquil hops out of the way. Mate, that is 100% not how Swift works. I guess there's only one explanation. Ash Ketchum is a hacker. Confirmed. Although in this case, I guess it's kind of justified. After all, sometimes to beat a hacker, you've got to be a hacker. The trainer tells his Sandslash to close in on Cyndaquil with Scratch Attack, which, if you're keeping count, brings Sandslash's move count to 6 moves. This guy is absolutely hacking. And you know what? That makes it even more tragic that he still can't beat a Cyndaquil. Direct quote from Ash.
Don't give up hope. You're much faster than that Sandslash is.
Now, at first I was going to correct Ash because I thought there was no way that a Cyndaquil could outspeed a Sandslash, but I checked both Pokemon's base speed on Cerebi and they're tied at base 65 speed. So depending on their EVs and natures and whatnot, this absolutely could be the case. Go figure. Cyndaquil defeats Sandslash with a single tackle attack. Mate, this Sandslash was weak as piss, wasn't it? Even after all that hacking, it was beaten so easily. That's just embarrassing, isn't it? Mate, this guy just pulls a net out from nowhere with a puff of smoke like an Animal Crossing villager. Now there's a crossover we desperately need. Cyndaquil stops the guy with a massive flamethrower attack. Now I know technically this was self-defense, but it's still attempted murder. Probably a little bit of an overreaction, Cyndaquil. Ash tries to hug Cyndaquil while its flames are still out. Ash Ketchum is still a numpty. Pass it on. Direct quote from Ash.
I'm going to be counting on you a lot from now on, Cyndaquil.
Well, of course you are, because for some reason you refuse to use Heracross in gym battles. Hashtag justice for Heracross. The narrator tells us that our heroes will continue on to Azalea Town. And do you want to know the most beautiful part of hearing that? Well, would you believe it? He actually means it this time. We are finally going to get to Azalea Town after what feels like centuries. Mate, I can't believe we're finally going to get to meet Kurt and find out the mystery behind the GS ball. Wait, what?